Hi everybody, this is Tina from Rehatch Designs, and we are here with part 2 of our making our cookbook journal. And last time what we did is we basically reinforced the spine. This was a very used cookbook, and the spine was kind of coming. We got a little glue there to get that off. We reinforced it and I added some trim, and I'm going to do more to it. And then we went ahead and put our pockets in and put our stuff in there for more stuff there. Put our pockets in, put our material down, and ready to do a little bit more embellishing. And then we're going to go on to removing the pages that we're going to remove and what we're going to keep, and reinforcing those and what we're going to do with the dividers. And then after that, we're going to talk about your papers and getting them ready to put in and actually putting them in. So we'll get that done today, hopefully. And let's go ahead and get going so we have time to get it all done. First of all, I have decided that I thought I would do this on camera. I was going to do it all after adding extra trim. But because this is kind of a beat up one, and you may get one like that, you may not realize how easy it is to kind of fix it up. And I want to kind of do that so you guys can see it. Okay, I went ahead and lifted up some of the trim on the ends because I'm going to actually put trim here, and I wanted to be able to put it underneath that portion. As a rule, what I do is I always put the thinner trim underneath and the thicker on the other. I mean, I don't always, I don't always have to do that, but that's usually what I do. Got some right there. And then I did that for the back also. Okay, and I'm going to put some here on the inside. I wasn't going to, but I think I'm going to now. And I also think part of the reason is that way, if you do want to do it, then you can see how to do it. I'm just taking the extra glue off of there. Okay, anyway, so first of all, this one is a little beat up. If you can see how the ends are kind of messed up over here and over there. Not terrible, but, I mean, you could leave it that way. We cleaned it, and it's fine. It'll last. But I'm going to kind of, doctor it up a little. I'm going to use my, you can use fabric tack. You can use, tacky glue. You can use whatever it is that you have. I have 3-in-1. And I'm just going to take some of that, and I'm going to go ahead and just kind of run it over here and kind of get these little ends to where it's not kind of falling apart. And it's not perfect, and that's okay. I'm just trying to keep, reinforce that. This side's got a little part of it that's kind of coming undone. I'm going to fix that. Okay. The back looks a little messed up, and as you can see, it's kind of worn off on the bottom there, okay? Just right there. Okay, so now I'm going to let that dry, and it'll dry quickly because it's the 3-in-1 glue. That's why I probably would have normally just put some tacky glue or whatever on there, but because we're doing this, I thought, well, we will go ahead and use that. Okay, so now what I'm going to do, let me get this down. I am going to use I use gold almost over. This is metallic luster. You can use any kind of gold paint, anything you want to use, any color you want. If you want to do it silver, if you want to do it copper, whatever you want to do. I'm just using this. And I am going to take just a very small little brush, okay? And I am going to actually just touch up the ends so that you will not see any of the, the wear and tear. It won't look so old. I've got a little thing of water. Let me put some water in here. Just a tiny bit. I don't need very much, okay? Because mine is dry. Otherwise, I could just rub it on. I might try and rub it on, but we'll see. And I'm just going to take that and go across. It looks like it's semi-wet. And I put that on there. And all I'm doing is just kind of rubbing it with my finger. You can use a paintbrush. If you wanted to take a paintbrush and just kind of, you know, use gold paint, you could do that. You don't have to have this. And kind of go across if you want more control. Although I actually think you have more control with your finger. And all I'm doing is I'm doing this, and the parts that are a little messed up, I'll do a little bit more. And I don't care if it goes over the edge a little bit. It doesn't bother me. Oh, I just got some on the front. That bothers me. I wasn't trying to do that. Okay, there we go. Got that off. Okay, so I'm just going to go ahead and do that and go all the way across. I'll use the paintbrush right here. And I'm just trying to get it to where I am kind of disguising this a little bit to where you cannot see all the little blemishes, okay? And you could come up on this and go higher and have more of it show. It's really personal preference, but it's just a way to disguise it. All right, I'm gonna do that here, and I just got some on the front again. Yeah, that's why you want to keep a wet cloth next to you, because it can get messy when you put it on your fingers. But see where it's kind of run down on top? I'm just taking it and kind of just going over this so it will fix all that. Okay. Okay. And here you can see it's a little kind of run down right there, and I'm going to kind of go up a little on that side and up a little on this side, and there we go. So basically what I've done is I have kind of just, you know, added a little character to it. I'm going over the sides a little bit. A lot of this is going to be covered, so I'm not really worried about it, but the edges wouldn't be, so I kind of want to make sure that they're done. I'm going to do the other side and just kind of make sure that I get all that. And let's see, this edge is really bad here, so I'm going to make sure I get it all so you can't see the little inside of the chipboard there. Go around the edge. And what this does, and I do this on a lot of my older books just to kind of, you know, get them to the point where, I mean, you want the character of the book to show, but I don't know. It's up to you, but I don't like the chipboard and all that showing, so. And I actually do this on books that are not even messed up, just to kind of jazz them up a little bit. I'm not getting enough on my finger. Okay, and then do that. Of course, you could have done this before we did the other stuff, but, you know, I think it's fine now. Okay. And I'm mainly trying to get the edges because I'm going to be covering some of this up with some trim. So it's not a big deal, you know, if I don't get the sides. Okay, so anyway, this stuff dries really quick. Let me wipe it off my hands so that we can move on without me getting stuff all over the place. Anyway, so we'll let that dry a tiny bit. I mean, like I said, it does not take long to dry at all. And then we will go ahead and get on to the next part. And like I said, I was going to go ahead and just do this on my own. But I thought, you know, some of you may think, well, gee, I don't know. This still looks kind of messed up and whatever. And I'm just trying to show you ways to hide it. And actually, I think make it look even better. So sometimes those flaws can end up being a plus. Okay, so I'm going to put that away. And this is all done as far as the gold part that I'm going to do. And I still have it in my fingers, but that's okay. All right, so now what I'm going to do is just go ahead and I'm going to put my extra trim on. Now, I thought he's got a little bit of green on there, and I wanted to add some green. So I have some rickrack. I thought about putting that on there, but I don't know. I think what I'm going to do is I have this green ribbon here. I'm going to put that there. Maybe. But then I have this other gingham type ribbon. And I thought, well, that's kind of cute. That's kind of kitcheny. Okay, so I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to put that here. Like that. And then I may put the rickrack over it. Okay. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to put more of this right here, okay, on top of it. So let me do this. And I'm going to be using my 3-in-1 glue. You can use tacky glue, use anything you want for this, guys. So I'm mainly doing it because it dries quickly and we can get to the next part, right? So, and see, and this further, what this does is this further, you know, decorates. I'm taking it right to the edge, right there. Okay. And then I'm going to cut it right on the edge. Okay. And again, this is going to be covered by this. And then I'm going to take my rickrack, because I want to add some green. I'm going to go ahead and put a little bit of glue, just a line down the middle. Okay, I'm going to put that there. And this is kind of twisted on top, so I may have to cut that piece off so I can get it flat. All right. So I'm going to put that there and have this go all the way down. Try and get it flat because it just seems very twisted. You know, yep, that's twisted. Don't want it twisted. Now you don't have to put anything down here. I mean, it would probably look cute just like that. Let me do the other side. And also too, guys, you could definitely put material over the whole front and not even have this part show. I mean, I like to leave them, you know, because that's kind of the point in getting the older ones is you're, you know. All right, and then let me cut that. Okay. See if I can get a part that's not all. Okay, that looks pretty good. And then again, we're just going to do the same thing. We're going to go ahead and put a bead of glue all the way down. Cut. Again, it's twisted. I don't know what's going on with this stuff, but I don't even remember really where I got it. I think I bought it at Walmart. Okay, so I don't care that it doesn't go all the way down because I'm going to put some more trim on there. Okay, so now that I've done that, I'm going to go ahead, got a little piece of glue there. I'm going to go ahead and glue my ends down here. And then put that down there. And I had glued these down and I just kind of ripped them up a little bit, so before they were completely dry. And whenever I have something thick like that, I usually take my little clamps and I put it on there, or I hold it myself with my finger, just to, you know, it doesn't take long for this to dry, but I want it to make sure it dries. Okay, now you could really just leave it like that and that would be fine. You know, you don't really have to put anything else on there. I do have this other trim I could try. Let me see, I might do that. That looks kind of cute, doesn't it? So it's not so heavy. You know, I might do that. I really just want to put something on the end to kind of cover the little issues, and also just to kind of give it a pop of color. I could put that on there. Can you guys vote? I think I really like the green better. I think I'm going to do that. The other one's a little bit too heavy. I do have red also. If I could find the end of it, would be nice. Somewhere. Let me see. No, I think I like the green better. Okay, so I'm going to do the green, and I'm going to put it over this. So I'm going to go ahead and now this stuff frays a lot, so I'm going to do it a little longer, and I'm going to go ahead and then cut it off and put some 3-in-1 on the edges so it doesn't fray so bad. And I'm not going to put it right at the very, very edge. See how I have put the gold there? I'm going to put it right before that, because if you put it right at the very edge, when people open and close it, after a while, it may come loose. So, and then I'm going to cut that right there. Okay. I think that actually needs to be a tiny bit shorter. There we go. Right at the edge. And I'm going to take a little bit of this and just put a dab on there and kind of smoosh it down. And a dab on there and kind of smoosh it down. That's my word for it. Okay, and then I'm going to take a couple of these and just let it sit there for a second, and then that way I know they'll be down good. Okay, so I am going to go ahead and stop the camera, do the other side, and then we're going to work on the inside. Okay. Okay, guys, I went ahead and did the front and the back, and I am going to go ahead and put some trim on the inside. If you remember correctly, we had this space here, so I'm going to go ahead and do that real quick. I'm going to put that there. So that's going to go right to the edge. And it can fit under there a little bit if you want it to. It's up to you. And make sure that all gets down. Use this. Okay, and then I'm going to do this other side. And I'm only going to do one side and kind of show you guys, and then I'll stop the camera and do the rest. And there's nothing wrong with leaving it without the trim, you know, so if you want to do the frayed edges or whatever you want to do. Turn that toward me a little bit. Okay. And then I'm going to put the green, move that up on top and the bottom. I have to put a little glue right there. Okay. Just make sure that doesn't fray anymore. And I'm putting it right on the edge, not over the edge. Because again, you don't want stuff hitting it, knocking it off. Put a little bit on that edge so it doesn't fray. Okay, do the other side. My glue is not coming out good. I think I left it too long without the top on. Get that all kind of smushed down. Okay, and then I'm not going to put the rickrack on it like I did before. I'm going to use it, if I can find the end of it. Here we go. I am going to put some just right here. Okay, I'm going to put it right here at the edge. I'm going to leave it frayed on the other edge. Okay, and I'm going to do just that. And I'm going to put this piece of, oops. This is just a piece from some contact paper, and I use it for things not to stick or get glue on it or whatever. So I'm going to do that. Because I'm going to get this right up to the edge. And I can, you know, this is still wet. I might just tuck that under there a little bit. Might look a little bit neater. Okay. Get that down. And that's just to let you know that there's a pocket there, kind of give it a little bit more pop. Put that under there. Great. Just lift it up for a second. I'm going to do that. Make sure I don't get glue where it's not supposed to be. And get the whole pocket done. Okay, so I'm going to stop the camera. I'm going to do the other side real quick. Okay, so I went ahead and finished doing the inside. I put a little rickrack on the top of this, just kind of like I did at the end of the pocket. So as you can see, all the little flaws in our journal that our cookbook that we had are gone now. We've kind of just covered them all up. and kind of disguised them. We've reinforced the cover. So this is just as good as one that you're going to pay 4 times as much for. So all I'm saying is don't pass these up, okay? All right, so now we're going to get on to the next part that has nothing to do with the cover. So I'm going to put that aside, okay? The thing that you want to do next is you want to take all of your pages, okay? And this is what we pulled out. And go through and kind of decide which ones. Here's another little book. Which ones, like I would probably maybe keep this one, okay, because that has the cover on there. You want to figure out which tabs you want to keep. I would keep a lot of the pictures maybe. You know, it's up to you what you want to keep in there, what tabs you want to keep. I love that, okay? So you want to go through it and kind of pick out what you want to keep in there and just go through the whole thing and do that, okay? And what I would do is I would keep these, excuse me. What I would do is I would keep all of the ones that you're not using, okay, and put a rubber band on or whatever, and if you're gifting this, to give it to that person because they might want it. So after you pick out all the tabs that you want, and I keep my tabs in mine because I think I like that, okay? So this isn't obviously all of them I would keep, but I keep them, and, you know, we may have to reinforce them and fix them and do whatever, but pick out which ones you want. I usually don't keep all of them, but that's up to you. Anyway, you know, you may want to rubber band this stuff up and then go ahead and you know, just give them to the person that you're, you know, gifting it to. Okay, so anyway, the other thing that you need to do after you're done with that, if you're going to keep certain pages, these are old and the pages may not be in that great a shape. What I did is I went through, let me get my little hole punch thing. I have this hole punch deal, and it's, let me see, it makes, not a hole punch, reinforcer, it makes them, and you can do that, and it just makes these, and you can put them right on, and you know, then you can use your own paper, okay, put some glue on there. I'm going to do a different color. I've got some gold here. Oh, that's a double. I was going to say, I don't think it's that thick. It's a little thicker, but if you're doing it Christmas, maybe you may want to do something like that. I like to do this over here so I can kind of tell where these are going. I don't like to waste a lot of paper. Oh, okay. I think I just dropped a few. I'm going to need one more because I dropped it. All right. So I just take these and get my glue stick. Oh, that one's empty. I should just throw it away. And I will just run them across here. Now it's stuck to my finger. But I will just do, I only do the one side. I don't do both because it really doesn't need it. But if you want to, you can. Because these are pretty fragile, and if you don't reinforce the pages, they probably will tear. Some of these are already torn. Okay, and like I said, you can do any color you want with that. I did get this on Amazon. I couldn't find the link, so, and you can get them from different buyers. I think it's from We Are Memories Keepers. I've had it a long time. So anyway, you're going to go and you're going to reinforce all the pages that you decided that you're going to keep. You can do both sides if you want. I usually don't, but that's up to you. The other thing you can do is just buy the little reinforcing holes. That has another one. I usually color mine all the time brown when I put them on. But you can just do that. And where'd my marker go? I had it in here at one point. Just get your marker, whatever color it may be, and color them and then use those. I mean, they work just fine. I don't ever, you know, like, see, I did some that were brown before, but you could make these whatever color you want to make them and use those. And so you need to do all that, and that's going to be your homework for next time, is to get all the pages that you want to keep and reinforce them. Do the same thing with your dividers. Although most of the time I find that they're in pretty good shape. A few of them may be kind of messed up, you know, a little bent or something. If they're in bad shape, we're going to be covering, or I am, it depends on if you want to, the back of these. So if we have to reinforce that tab, we can. Okay, so that's not a big deal. But if you have to reinforce the holes, do that. So that's the homework. Go pick out your pages and reinforce all the holes of the ones you want to keep. Okay, and I've already kind of done that already. So what I did is I just went through, and these are just ones that I colored, that I put on there. So I just kind of went through and did all that, and then this is all I'm keeping. Okay, and that way the other person can put whatever they want in there, and also you have room for your papers that you're going to put in there. Okay, because if you left everything in there, then, you know, you wouldn't have any room for anything. Okay, so then the next thing that I do after that, I think that belongs to the other one, get these out of the way, is that you need to get your papers ready to go into the journal. Okay, and here's the thing. Let me bring this over here now. Whether you have a 3-ring or, you know, 5-ring or whatever, you're going to have to punch holes in whatever you do. Okay, I like to keep the little cardboard piece that we found. Of course, you can use your dividers too. And this is a great way to measure, okay? So, of course, you can go up and do it with this, but, you know, this is a great way to use that. So what I'm going to do is give you an idea of what I do and what kind of papers I put in it. Get all that down. Oh, here we go. Okay. First off, get all these out. I am going to be using for this, not all these papers, but part of these papers, and I'm not sure which ones yet. I am going to be using let's see, that it's just extra. I've got some stuff from Santa's Workshop, Cartabella. I've got some October Afternoon, some old stuff I had. And then I also have, what was the other one? A Very Merry Christmas. And they're all kind of retro. And that's kind of the look I'm going for with this. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut out pieces that, you know, can go in there. And then I'm not, like, let's say, I'll use that one for instance, to fit in there. And some of them will be full size, some of them will be half size. Just depends on, you know, what I want to put in there. So let's say, for instance, let me get my journal over here. And I'll tell you, a great way to measure is, again, use your little divider. Where did that go? I don't want it to all fall down. Use your little divider page, works great. Okay, so if you want a full size, which I don't know, I think what I'm gonna do, let me get my cutter, is I am gonna be doing these 6 inches. And I'm using these, they're double-sided, and I'm gonna also be using some of this paper pad, and it's one-sided, okay? Because I want to have writing space on the back. So I'll be using a combination of different papers, but for the most part, I'm going to be doing probably about 6 inches wide, just so I can get more out of my paper. For one thing, that's one of the reasons I'm doing that. Okay, so put that over there. So I'm just going to do this 6 inches. Okay, put that aside, and then I'm going to go ahead, and if you notice, this is what, let's see, this is just a little over 6 inches, so let's see, about 6 and a little over 6 1/4. Okay, so these will be a little bit smaller, but you know, you'll get more out of it. And I'm doing about 5 journals, so I want to try and get to where I'm getting my money's worth out of my. I'm just going to mark that. I could measure it, but I'm not going to do that. So then I'm just going to go ahead and cut that. Okay. And, you know, of course, save all your pieces because we'll use those later. All right. So anyway, and so in order to cut this, okay, we're going to have to line it up with the holes in there. And there's a lot of different ways you could do that. First of all, that's why I saved this. You can do this, right? And you can just mark each one of these holes, right? And then take a, let me get my punches out so you can see what we're going to do. Take a hole punch, just like this, after you mark them, and punch them. Okay, or you can use something like this. I have this punch right here that I can do up to five holes, but unfortunately it's not big enough for me to fit these in here. But this is We Are Memory Keepers. I remember when I bought this, I didn't think I'd ever use it, and I actually use it quite a bit. The way you do it is you line up the holes with the middle of this. So I would do, goes there, that goes there, that goes there, and then this one would have to go here. Let's see, is that right? That looks about right. Okay. And then they kind of click in place. So these are all lined up right where they need to be. Pretty much, I think. I don't know, that one looks a little off. There we go. That looks like they're all kind of lined up. And so I would take this in there. And the thing is, you've got to have enough room. The middle punch is right here. What I do is I kind of just go like that. And that's only for the ones that are the same size as the others. So that tells me that that middle punch has to go there. And I put it right there. I should have just marked it. Would have been easier. Okay, there. There we go. And then I will punch that, okay? And I still have one more hole I need to punch. And all I do with that, I line this up. I could put it back through the punch, but I don't do that. I usually just take this and either mark it, or I'll go ahead and I'll just go right through and punch it. But I have that kind of crooked, so I want to get it in there straight. I may not have my punches lined up right. I mean, whatever is easier, mark it or do whatever. You can put it back through there. This is not the most cooperative hole punch. But anyway, you can do that. And then you have a paper that will fit right inside here, okay? Just like that, okay? So you'll have, you know, obviously we're not folding our papers over because we're not in a situation where, you know, we have to, you know, sew in a signature. So anyway, we would do that. Excuse me again, my allergies are really bad today. So anyway, if you're going to use graphic paper or you're going to use any other kind of paper, you need to go through and decide what you want to do as far as, you know, your papers that you want to put in there, and then cut them out and punch them. Okay. What I would do, let me move this over for a minute. I've got a whole basket full of stuff here just to give you an idea, because this is going to be your homework. Okay. Is what you want to do is pick out your papers. Like here is this really cool envelope. This would be great. You punch your holes right in here. Okay. And, you know, just kind of, you know, get it in the middle. And then you punch, you know, mark it, punch your holes in it. Let me do that real quick just to show you. Oop, I just moved it a little bit. Here we go. Okay, so you can do it with your hand punch. You can line it up in here. You can do whatever it is you think you want to do. I'm going to line this up. And then I'm going to go ahead and punch this last one. I may just do it in here. Let's see. I'm freaking get that in there like that. So that way my holes are the same size, because that one's a little bit different. Okay. And so anyway, then I would just have my holes already punched in here, and then that will go in. Okay. You can use stuff like wrapping paper. You could use Christmas cards. Now, granted, you'd be punching a hole in here and they both would go in there. So that would be, let's just, here we go. Let's say you do 4. I'm going to put 4 right there. Watch this. Okay. And kind of show you how that works. So here you have your other paper that fits in like that. Here you have your envelope that would go like that. Here you have a card. Let's say you want to put that in there. Well, obviously, it's not big enough to have 5 holes, but it could still fit in there. See? So that would work like that. That would work like that. Okay? Let's see. Another thing you may want to put in there is, let's say you want to put some recipe cards in there, but you only probably want to put 2 holes in it. So that would maybe go right here. Okay, so that would go, you know, like maybe here. Okay, and you could have that in there and have different ones like that too. Let's see, what were the other things? I had a whole thing full of them. Okay. I have this bingo card, kind of the same thing. Now this probably, I hope you guys can see what I'm doing, is only going to have 3 holes. And the same thing, you don't have to use this punch. You would just line it up here and go, okay, 3 holes, and then mark it and punch it. Okay, so that would only have 3 holes. Obviously, it's not going to have 5. Okay, so you would maybe want to put that up here like that, okay? Let's say you wanted to do a paper bag. Okay, well this is right about this size right here. You could put that in there and make this a little pocket, and then use this part as the bag, or you could fold it up one and put it like that. I think this is how I would do it, is I would probably take this glue, put a little glue right here, okay, to glue that down, and then I would go up one like that. And of course you could sew this if you wanted to, but it's not necessary. Go like that, and I'm doing this quickly, so okay. So now you have a pocket here, and then you have a pocket here, okay? And so all you have to do to put that in there is put this in there, and this again is not big enough to have 5 holes. So we're going to go ahead, here I'm going to do that better, so hopefully I can punch this out on there. If it doesn't, I can always hand punch it, but it's not wanting to really fit in there well, so I'm kind of wondering if it's not going to work. Let's see. I'm going to get it closer to me to get it in there and see if it'll work. I don't think it will. Okay, so on this one, what I think I'm going to do is I'll just do it on here so you can see. And this is good. That way you guys can see that there's, you know, different ways to do this. You don't have to have an expensive punch or anything. So I am just going to use this. Or how about if I use this time? And that'll work. So you can see, you can use different things. And these are smaller holes, but as long as it will work in there. All right. Okay. So then you would have that in there like that. Let's say you want, let's see, that one was up there. So maybe you want this one down here. And you know what's really great about this is it does lend itself to, see, these holes are smaller, so it's not really working all that great. Okay, here we go. There we are. Okay, so then now you have a pocket here and a pocket here, okay? So you would do that with all your papers. Let's see. Also, the other things you may want to put in there, let's say, for instance, this is a children's book page. You know, you could put that in there. This is a Richard Scarry book, and it has an interesting little thing. You kind of want to put it kind of in the middle. So we're going to punch that. You could put that. Now, of course, you're going to put your other pages in between, like these pages and your other, you know, like you would put that in there with your other pages. And then let's say, for instance, you would have that. Okay, just like you would with a journal. Okay, let's see, we did a card. The other thing, let's say you have, I have some music pages. Let's say we do that. Let me see a good one that would work. I am really trying, when I do this, I'm going to put pages that are just close to the same size. I haven't taken that apart, but I thought I had one in here that was taken apart already. Hold on. Maybe it was this one. Let me see if I can do this without going through an ordeal here. Just to kind of show you. Now, see, normally you would take these, right, on your journal, and it'd be great because it's like the right size to fit in your journal, you know, because you have to sew them in. But let me just see if I can tear that without having to. But because we have just the one-sided, you're just going to have half of what you normally would in your journal. Now on this, I'm going to tell you, here's the deal. You have to pretty much put the other fifth hole in it, otherwise it won't fit. So I kind of, you know, I try and find the middle, put it in. I hope you can see this. I'm putting it in the middle one here. So I'm going to do 4 holes now and then punch the other one. Oh, here we go again. I can never see where I put the crease, so. Okay, and then what I'm going to do is mark my last hole again. And that's why this thing comes in so handy, is that you can use it, you know, to help you out in measuring. And of course, like I said, you can use the dividers too if you don't have that. What am I gonna do? Okay, I don't know if this hole's bigger. Let me see. Oh, a little bit bigger. This is terrible. This sticks so bad. I need to get a better one. I hardly ever use it though. Okay, so anyway, that would fit in there like that. Okay, so there you go there. I did find these really interesting little holders for recipe cards, and I guess I had bought them ages ago. And I already did the one recipe card. I have these recipe cards that I bought, 3 different packs. Oh, years and years ago, with the intention of doing something like this, and I never got around to doing it. But anyway, they fit in there, and you could easily punch the holes out to fit if you wanted to put some of these in there. And you don't have to put them in there with the, I did it upside down, but you know, you get the idea. You could punch these holes out to go in here. They don't line up with these right now. But you could, I mean, I tried to put them in there just every which way, but they won't. You can probably get one hole to match, okay? But let's see if I can kind of match them and then see. Let's see, I'll just do this one without the, oh, I already did one like that. Okay, here. So anyway, I punched holes in it, and you could go ahead and use something like that and put them in your, and so they have extra holes because obviously these other holes didn't line up. But anyway, if you want to do something like that, you could, because honestly, guys, that'd be kind of a cool thing to put in there, and you could put your recipe cards. But if you didn't have something like that already, what did I have? I had that other one. What did I do with it? Oh boy, I don't have it. Let me see. Hang on just a second. Let me get it, because I see it. Okay, I'll be right back. Okay. Here we go. These are the regular sheet protectors that you buy from scrapbooking. You could take these and cut them. You just need 2, and make sure you cut them, you know, below the little dots, otherwise you'll split them. And you are gonna, I mean, you don't have to waste the rest. Trust, you can do a lot of things with them. So then go past there, go past this other section. If you can see what I'm doing. I'm cutting it too wide there. Okay. And so basically you are doing the same thing. You're going to, you know, punch your holes in it and you have the same thing. And it would work in here just as easily. I don't think any of these will fit. Let me see. Nope, of course not. So you could do that. Let me see if I can line any of these up. If that one would work. No, it'd be too low. Okay, so if I line that one up, I'm going to line that up. I'm going to line that up. Let's see what happens. Let's see right here. Okay, and I got some more holes in it. Let's do it to where you can see it. Right? Oh gosh. Put that over there. So here you go. Oh, I did that one too high. It has to go the other way. There we go. Then it'll work. Okay, so there you have another one in there. All right, so you could do the same thing on your own. You don't have to have these already cut. I mean, the other things you might want to think about is putting some vellum in there, maybe. You could put, the other thing is I have different size book pages. You know, I've already punched holes in these, but you may want one like down here. Or not book pages, but scrapbook type paper or whatever. I put one up there. Maybe you want one up higher like that. Okay, so that's the kind of thing you want to think about putting in there. I have a, let me get this over here, a Norman Rockwell page down here. So let's say, for instance, you want to do that. Okay, I don't know if I want to use that one. Let's try and find another one. This one's kind of cool. It's got music and a really cool page on there. Okay, so this is too big, you know, obviously to go like that. I don't want to cut it down. I don't want to do like that. So what I could do, okay, is I could cut this right. Okay, this is what? This will do all 5. So I'm going to put this in right here. I don't know why that last one's not going in there good. Oh, my divider. I'm making a huge mess over here, guys. So I already have my 4 holes. So I line up my 4 holes that I've already done. Okay. That's all you're doing. Get them all lined up with your paper. And you can either use your punch or use it. I usually just take my punch and go through here and do this. To me, that's easier. Okay, that sticks constantly. And then I will take this and you could just put it in here. Well, it's already folded that way, so we'll just do that. All right. And so there you go, guys. That's a cool page. We'd have to fold that in a little because it was folded in half. So just go like that. Okay. And so then here's your page right here. Okay. And here's the other side. And actually, you know, I actually like that. it's so much easier, you know, just to have the whole page in there. So, you know, as long as the height is okay, and most of the time it will be, you can put whole pages in there and they look great, okay? So anyway, that is your homework, guys. You are supposed to get all of your papers and pages. If you want to use digitals, you can. I've got some of these very, very old, you know, Christmas books and things like that. I might put some pages in there, and I would do it the same way. I would put my holes here and have it fold out, okay? So in any case, guys, that's just to give you an idea of the kind of things you can put in there, okay? And of course, the sky's the limit. You do whatever you think you want in there. You know, like I did put a few plain papers, like you know, want to put in there for journaling on the back, the double-sided, or you may put some that, you know, you can still write on. You know, like I said, paper bags and whatever it is you think you want to put in there, okay? So your homework is to get your papers, cut them, and put the holes in them and get them ready to go in, okay? And so next time what we'll do is we will be going ahead and doing our pockets and tucks and things like that, and talk a little bit about decorating. I'm not going to, like, make all the little tags and do all that kind of stuff, because I think, you know, you guys could figure that out. And I'm going to be doing a generic kind of just Christmas stuff, probably right after this series is over with. So the next time will be where we're just talking about maybe putting in some pockets and maybe just adding a few little things here and there. And for the most part, then you're done, guys. You know, you put in and adding your other pages back. And also what we're going to do with the tabs. Well, I left one in here so you see it. On the tabs, I am going to be leaving the front of these pages because I think they look very retro. But we're going to be doing stuff to the back of those. Okay, that's mainly what we're going to be doing. So that is what we're going to do next time. So you do need to have either digital papers or scrapbook paper, some sort of decorative papers to work on the back, maybe some ribbons, whatever, and glue. Okay, so anyway, that's all I have for today. So our next series will be Tuesday. I forgot the date. So next Tuesday, whatever that is, and we will do all those things on Tuesday. So thanks a lot for watching, and I'll see you guys again soon.